mentoring system should cover not only the adaptation period, but also to continue throughout the entire cycle of professional maturity of the employee. Mentoring will provide motion along the matrix of technical skills and the career move from a junior to architect position. And based on the results of a questionnaire in January 2020, the content of work is the leading motivator for more than 81% of Customertimes Minsk office employees, and the workplace achievements is also the leading motivator for more than 54 of them. So we can safely say that people are engaged in the types of tasks in the way of their implementation. And also in the questionnaire, based on the results of training courses, our trainees mentioned that it's very important not only to master the technology according to the approach I will show and you'll repeat, but also to develop their thinking patterns and to help them understand how the platform works. Also help them with inspiring and encouragement. The second cornerstone, we're going to tell you about my personal experience being a mentor and a mentee. Actually, I entered Salesforce as a mentee and faced all the charms and all the fears interacting with my mentor. And today I'm going to consider the role model of a mentor based on my former mentor. What I will ready to preserve as best practices and what should be abandoned, avoided, and what should be achieved to become an outstanding mentor. And 3 years ago, I became a mentee when I first studied Salesforce, and they did not understand what the mentoring is, what the mentor should do. In general, there was a situation that mentors was not chosen. But today, there's more clear understanding what a mentoring is, and as you see on the diagram, these are the roles that I'm not going to dive into, because we have additional course in Minsk. But I'm going to tell you what roles performed by my mentor. The first one is a strategist. It's a role where the mentor is a very tech-savvy person with a lot of skills. The second is a sounding board. It's when the mentor is testing the mentee's ideas to perform progress. And the champion is the morally supporting his mentee, so you can text him for any issue or you have a big promotion. He shares with you some positive emotions. What was my mentor's strength? It was a passion to Salesforce technology, and as did expect that from others. He has an insistence of mentee to first study the material and then come and ask like pattern, try to do it yourself and then ask me. And always precise control of completed tasks, always proper feedback to stakeholders, and of course willing to help with difficulties. But please take a look at the second bullet point first. And what I would like to refuse if I transfer that mentor knowledge onto myself. I think the first one will be the communication starting, because it often was like, you're a moron, but let's see. The second was a too complex speech for my mentee's level, and there was no feeling if I can proactively ask for a piece of advice without diving the topic into 4 and 5 hours. And the only thing that helped me to being punished and tearing strips of me was my body type, but not everyone has it from a birth. This leads us to third cornerstone. What are the difficulties to being a mentor? I think the first point should be finding time and patience, and also to adapt your speech to mentees to maturity of the employee. And the second one is about motivation. In order to mentor to be self-driven, engaged in the process, and also to fulfilling his role, I think that it's necessary that mentor's load should be included in 100% of his working time. And this is the third cornerstone, because mentor's role is very prestigious all over the world. It's the status of an expert and the social authority and a huge responsibility for a result. And therefore, I would suggest in case of overtime to timely stimulate his work with some educational activities or team building events. And now we're guiding to dysfunctional meta models, because if you're a mentor, you should know how not to do and how to not to interact with your mentee. And we're going to briefly dive into these models. And starting with the passive one, it's the person who avoids conflicts. It's better not to discuss than further solve a problem. The second one will be the dictator. It's kind of a toxic relationship, denying the ethic of mentorship. The know-it-all person, they're arrogant, they adore micromanagement, only they know how to do it well. The pitchfork, it's manically hyperactive managers. They set a lot of tasks without completing the former ones. The no people, they're always not available to subordinates, they're too busy to talks, they're not ready for group discussions and sharing some points. The complainer. The complainer, I always point out that something going wrong in their lives and in the workplace. The pleaser. This person usually cries for help and feed for nursing instead of solving the tasks. The next one, and the least, the showboat. He loves him so much that he likes to be in public. While we briefly looked into this dysfunctional mental models, I would like to share with you a video with my mentee to see how this dysfunctional models looks from the side. And I just ask you not to judge us very hard because it's our first roles as actors. So let's take a look.
Every new relation is colored by former relations. Being a mentee, you should avoid the transferal trap. You have to know all the dysfunctional mental models to keep away from them.
Good morning, Viktor.
Morning, Pavel.
As a result of callout, the object on which trigger is created is updated.
You know, when I was a junior like you, I calmly coped with such tasks. Even the tech lead used to applaud me when I quickly handled such complexities, and the client always praised me. I would have already left the company a long time ago, but the only idea crossed my mind at the moment: if I leave the company, it will face a collapse.
Viktor, you know, after your suggestions, the trigger is looping.
Are you Repilic? Have you read about the static variables? Is it clear how the trigger works? Or even sure? But why are you asking such stupid questions to me? Go read all trailheads and then come to me with the correct questions. By the way, I'm not paying for the mentoring. And who will work if you will be distracting me all the time? Use Boolean static variable that stores information whether that trigger was already called.
Hey, I need to create a text field on the object.
You know, let's sit down, investigate this complicated task. I will really worry if you fail to implement it. Yeah, you know, no worries. I will finish it for you.
An exception is thrown when I try to use this text field in the web condition in the so-called query.
Well, in that case, you need to change the field type to text because Salesforce won't allow you to filter by that field type.
How to generate an XML file?
Why did you come? You should have emailed me. I would say if you didn't email me, I wouldn't even look to answer your questions.
But I emailed you.
How could I see? I was busy all the time. Try using XML node class or string concatenation.
It is necessary to parse a JSON string containing contact information that cannot be deserialized immediately in the list of contact. Do you know how to do this?
Well, you know, first of all, I know everything. I'm senior dev here. And it's good that you came to me. So I want you to know that all your activities must be coordinated by me. But by the way, I am on the vacation till tomorrow, but don't even think to start doing anything in my absence. You should use JSON to Apex utility or create a wrapper class that repeats the structure of incoming JSON string. The proper mentoring style will help you develop your team. So let's start doing it in the right way.
Okay, thank you. I hope you liked it. And we're leading to a conclusion. We're going to assume all the skills that should be achieved to become an outstanding mentor. And one of those are listening actively, asking effective questions, using different coaching tools, using different mentoring styles. You have to have skills to access mentees, to inspire others. And as you can see, the mentoring is multi-faced. It could be formal or informal and may change due to needs of mentees changing. And mentors can prepare their mentees for professional careers, help them develop their workplace skills. So to put it in a nutshell, mentors raise the bar regarding the mentee's potential and provide guidance, support, encouragement, and constructive feedback. So that's it. Thank you for listening. Hope you liked it.
Viktar, You were the best.